It's 1:02. Happy Monday. Welcome to EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports. That's Joaquin Gage. I'm Hernan Salas. Zachticum just sitting across from us. He'll show his mug here eventually throughout the show. And that's going to be a good one today, Gager. Like always, you can listen to us live on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Tune in or the iHeartRadio apps. You want to watch us, hit us up on the EST YouTube channel, also on the Nasty Chat, and text us at 780-218-9999. And, of course, coming to you live from our lovely studios in the west end of the city, the William Huff Studios here in the west end of the city. It's been a fun day because the big guy's back. Quickly on the show today, we'll talk a lot of Oilers, some crazy NFL games and finishes. We'll get our F1 update from our expert Joaquin Gage as well. Another fun race. And at 2:20, Tyler Madarasz from Sirius XM-NHL will join us to go around the NHL. A lot of news around the NHL for another coaching change as well. And a minor trade today and some rumors from Elliot Friedman. Not rumors, sorry, some news. Both the Rangers may be wanting to shake some stuff up. So, and the Ottawa Senators, which is the most fascinating team, man, they can't figure it out down there. They continue to struggle. I think they're on a 5-game losing streak. So we'll have some fun today on this Monday. But, Gager, first off, how was the weekend?
That was terrible. But you know what? Looking forward to a good week, buddy.
That's good. Was it the weather that put you down?
No, weather was. I liked the weather. Actually, the snow was kind of refreshing a little bit.
Okay.
Got some good dog park walks in. I might have. I don't want to do it. I mean, I have a Bernese Mountain Dog, and he gets the snow gets into his paws when he's. So maybe now when the snow gets down packed a little bit more. But, I mean, he's in the bush and he's running and stuff. He's just, if you want to see pure happiness, come with me to the dog park and look at my dog. I've never been that happy in my life. It's unbelievable. He's just smiling. He's running. He's meeting other people. It's how everyone should live their life, seeing a dog at the dog park. It's just great. But
dogs are the best.
It's just the best. But, no, I tried. So my idea of making a kind of igloo. There's a thing in Europe, like after après skis that you go to, and it's just after you ski, and it's just dance music, and you're having a good time. And I wanted to do that on my deck, and so I had a above ground pool. It's a pool, but it's got a solar blanket, right, that I put over to try to get the water warm. So I put the solar blanket over my kind of gazebo, like my little outdoor living area thing, hoping, and it was cold, and I was trying, and it just didn't get right. So I'm thinking, well, it'll get some snow on top of there because it's open, but now it's covered with the blanket, and it'll kind of look like maybe a little igloo because I got a little fire pit in there and stuff, and
some house music.
Well, yeah, and I got some little lights, and it might be kind of cool. And I'm thinking I'll just put some LEDs in on the other side of the blanket to make all the snow look different. So I got it out late. Maybe that's why I was. It's not quite right, but stay tuned to the Instagram, and I'll show you what that looks like because it could be just little Gager's solo dance party out there.
Might have to go check it out. The big news of the day, of course, the big guy's back in the office.
Who?
First show. Dustin Nielsen made his triumphant return.
I was
without a hitch, eh?
I was happy to see his thumbnail on the YouTube, about 5:50 this morning. I was looking, I go, okay, the big dog's back.
The big cat.
I love how they just came in and just pretended it was like
normal
business as usual. Yeah. So like, what are you guys doing? Like, is Dusty that sick that he can't? And then it was like April Fool's.
I like all the stuff like that he missed.
Oh my gosh. Missed a year's worth of sports.
Yeah.
Like, how much stuff happens in a month?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's great to have him back around the office. And, it's a good day to be here at EST as the big boss is back. Gager, let's start maybe from Saturday. The Oilers probably their best game of the season, I'd have to say. I thought the McDavid line set the tone. Their first 3 shifts, Gager, they were awesome. I thought that game was Oilers through the whole 60 minutes. At no point The only point I got a little worried is when they were out shooting them like 13-5 or something like that, and Quick was making some big saves. I said, "Uh-oh, is this Quick feeling it? Is he gonna goalie the Oilers?" But no, they got that first one, and then there's no concern after that. The Oilers were really good in that game, and I guess that's what gets everybody in this town frustrated is how can you play a game like you did on Thursday, and then 2 days later you go and you play that game? Like, that's the most frustrating part.
Yes, by far the best performance by the Oilers throughout the whole lineup too.
Yeah.
And I know Connor went crazy there, but it was really good performances by everyone in that one. And I thought like this, some people are saying, well, it wasn't the Rangers' best. It was the end of the road trip. But look, they were still sniffing. And the play of Jonathan Quick for 30 minutes kept the Rangers kind of close where, a bad break here, a bounce there, they can cut the lead to maybe 2 and put a little bit more pressure. I think if they could have, that game would have been they would have kind of maybe took it over. But every time it seemed like the Rangers were pushing the other direction, the Oilers had an answer for it. And then, I mean, dude, the skill level of some of the goals and some of the plays that were made, it was mind-numbing. I was like, and again, you mentioned it. How do you get such a discrepancy between games for this Edmonton Oilers team? And I thought, I don't know if you watched the game prior, but Bieksa had a great point, and he was talking about the Ottawa Senators, how the Ottawa Senators have a game that's here, but their bad game is down here.
A lot lower.
Lower. Yeah. And so he says the good teams, their good games here, but their bad game is only about there, right? So and that's how I felt the Rangers were playing, even though they, it got out of hand at the end. I still think that they were kind of in there. It wasn't their best game, but the Oilers handled them quite handily and showed what type of team that they can become. And hopefully for them, this is a big turning point in the season where they can start building on that and getting everyone involved and start, let's face it, start turning the season back in their favor.
And all the credit to the Oilers. New York looked like a team at the end of a long road trip, just wanting to get home. I still think they have a quality team, but I find it fascinating that today Elliot Friedman said that on the aftermath of the 6-2 loss to Edmonton, the Rangers have made it clear they're interested in making moves and shaking up their roster. Among the names indicated, Chris Kreider and Jacob Trouba.
Pick them up.
Pick them up, both of them. Both of them.
I love Kreider, man. Ever since I saw him, I think it was like his second season, he was working out in his pool in the back, and he was doing like jumps out of his pool onto the deck. Like one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. Just a powerful skater. When he was up for that new deal, I was thinking maybe the Oilers should look into that because he would be and when I look at Chris Kreider, I look at him as kind of the Hyman, but way more skilled and faster.
Yeah, so just for reference, Trouba has one more year at $8 million after this one, and Mr. Chris Kreider is at 6.5 for 2 more after this season, which is for the amount he produces. That's a good number. Trouba's a guy that can just knock your socks off, right? Like he's the Scott Stevens of this NHL right now because he lays out some vicious hits.
He's circled on the board every game, and there would be people saying, okay, Trouba's on the ice, watch the right side or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and great leadership. You don't get to see on an original 6 team if you're not a good leader. He somewhat leads by example, I think. But saying that, Oilers fans, don't get too horny here because these are both American-born players. I don't see that the whole reason why Trouba left Winnipeg was his wife. I think she works in the tri-state area or something like that. So it made a lot of sense for him to be there. I don't see Kreider leaving the U.S. I don't see them leaving their team, really, to tell you the truth. How do you I don't know what the return would be. It would have to be massive. and the types of players that you're looking for in those cases, I guarantee they all have no trade moves or no movement clauses in their contract. So,
and they're both expensive.
Very expensive. Yeah. So, I mean, you know what? Let's see it. 780-218-110 or 780-218-9999. What do you think the trade would be for Kreider and Trouba to another team? Who would you like to see come back?
Yeah, that'd be a crazy, crazy trade. Hey, listen, Podkolzin, great goal. You saw him kind of look at the sky, and what I like about him, he's a good kid, Gage. Like, I know we joke around, and he works his butt off, and you know, Tommy takes some heat as well because he's honest, and I agree with Tom. But it was great to see him score the goal, the relief. His parents were there. It was their last night, so they got to see him score, which is awesome. I love this post game. He said, you know, sometimes you have to go through some tough times in life to come out on top, and I really like the way he's handled himself, the way he delivers, right? But like I'm seeing a bunch of things. Podkolzin has arrived, and like we need to pump the brakes sometimes. Like he has 6 points in 22 games, and he's played 12, 13 games with Draisaitl. Listen, he's playing good. He is, but like arrived. Like, come on, guys. Like Zach.
Unfortunately, I think what you're seeing with Podkolzin, that's the best. That's what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong with that. It's good.
No, not at all.
It's really good. But that's the ceiling. He's not there. There's the diamond is polished, so to speak.
Can you run the first Draisaitl clip on pod there? It's just him post game.
And he does a lot of things that go unnoticed, and that a lot of people that don't really understand hockey, they don't pick up on it. But
listen, Leon, I pick it up. All right, I know what he's talking. Jeez.
This is the thing. Like, I love players because they defend their boys. I get it and all that. But like, I don't think anyone in this city that's not as high on Podkolzin is sitting here saying he's a bad hockey player. No, I don't think anyone has said that. He does retrieve pucks. He is physical. He does get in there. But if you're playing in the top six, you have to produce, and he hasn't. That's all we've been saying. So it's like, first you heard McDavid take a shot because of what people were saying about Podkolzin, and now Draisaitl. It's great, sure, have your guys back, but I don't think what we're saying is out of line, Gage.
Oh, no. How could you? You know, how this is a player that it's funny, how many times do you hear on broadcast now, like going, Tocchet didn't like this guy? Like, he is kind of the Tocchet mold.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's funny how that happens. It's sometimes, the girl or guy that you really like, and they just don't like you back sometimes, And I think that's the case with old Rick the Rocket Tocchet and Podkolzin. But look, man, and
he is playing better than a lot of the forwards.
And like everyone says, this is I think I told this story a long time. I was drinking way too much, and someone said that I could play with the Sedins, and I got mad at him for saying that, and it was just made a party completely uncomfortable. But I hate that. Like it does take a special player to play with skilled people and just have the proper, the proper hockey IQ to know where to be, to know where they are, and he's got a unique set of skills that are complementary to Leon, and he makes life a little bit easier for them by doing the majority of the grunt work on those lines.
Katie says, yeah, but his line mate is producing, so doesn't that even out? Well, not really. Leon is leading the league in even strength goals, and I think points too. Yeah, but Leon's done this every year, Gage. It's not because of Vasily. Like, he's helping, sure, but it's not because of Vasily Podkolzin.
Don't only look at the stats, too. Like, look at the eye test. This guy's had about 5 tap-ins. He should have close to 10 goals by now, right? It's just not finishing.
Again, we're not dogging on Podkolzin. It's just look at the numbers, look at the games. Has he arrived? Like, what are we even talking about? Like, he's been good. And when Hyman and Arvidsson come back, does he remain in the top 6?
Yeah.
Okay. That was part of keep it or clip it with the boys. So
yeah.
Tommy said no.
I think, oh, really?
Yeah.
That's tough. So what do you mean? Who's he playing with? If Hyman's back next game?
He's top 6. And then Arvidsson, you're not playing him in the bottom 6. Like, And both guys, by the way, reported by the coach today, both guys will miss the weekend game, so they will be out. So no Arvidsson or Hyman for the next two games, which we have to wait till Friday, which is unreal.
I love it.
And people keep saying, well, what about Nuge? Yes, Nuge is having a terrible season. I think we've all said it. We've all discussed it. But the body of work, Nuge is a better player. Like, why are we comparing? Yes, if we're talking about this year, sure, Pod has been better than Nuge probably.
There's no reason Nuge can't play as well as Podkolzin, though, right? Like,
yes. Oh, he should.
Yeah, that should be the bare minimum of the level of consistency you should see from the Nuge, I think. But
James wants to ask you a question. Panarin's first goal, was it a bad goal or was it a heavy shot with a lucky bounce?
Panarin's first goal. God, I'm drawing a blank here. It was a wrister, right? Oh, no, that was the one that short side hit the pad, was going wide, and then hit the knob of his stick and goes in. Couldn't do that again in a million tries, I don't think, right? So that's just an unlucky bounce. I even think Skinner kind of looked at the knob of his stick, goes, did that hit that? Yeah, it was. I look at that as just, it's like the one that went in on Fleury a little bit, right? It just, some of those things, you could do it 100 more times and never repeat the same result.
Coming up, also in the second hour, of course, the EST Flyweight to LA, which is proudly presented by the 780. And at 140, I just put fun with Hernan. I'm going to give you guys a top five, and we're going to have some fun with it since it's a quiet week because the Oilers are off, and the Elks probably won't make news this week. I'm hoping they can.
It's a race week, though, buddy. It's
a race week as well. I did want to... Let's also hammer the thumbs up as well. We're only at 27. Last week we did really well. I think there was only one day we didn't hit 100, but let's try to get there today on this Monday. Here it says, James says, top six, bottom six is really antiquated. I play with a straight-bladed wooden stick. I do want to get to Arvidsson, but maybe we'll get to that in the second segment, Gager.
Sure, buddy. It's your show.
Or now. But at the end of the day, Oilers' best game of the season.
By far.
I think a loss would have really heated up the trade talks this week if they lose that game.
Well, look what's happening for the Rangers.
Yeah.
You know, there's...
So that's what I wanted to ask you. And me and Dusty were discussing this off air when I came in. So if they lose, because I think Rashok said it on his show too, if they would have lost Saturday, I mean, trade talks would have heated up, Gage. We know that. It would have been
would it have been trade or change?
Something. But they won on Saturday, but the management can't sit here and say, yeah, we're fine. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they still know they need to fix their defense.
No, it's the little Dutch boy's got his hole in the dike there. You know, it's just from where they've been going this season already.
Yeah.
Like they need like 5 or 6 of those. They need to go on a run here. And so just to quiet everything down. This is giving them a little bit of peace and quiet. But if they're not looking and, you know, in there mucking it and trying to get something, or there should be a list. There would be a list. If you went into Stan Bowman's office on the big whiteboard, I don't know if it'd be on the whiteboard or not, but there's a list somewhere where he's got a few players that he's looking at, and it probably does, like at this time of year, they always say American Thanksgiving, if you're out, the chances are quite low that you make the playoffs.
Yeah.
You're probably looking at the teams that are on the outside looking in, seeing where they're at with picks, their minor league team, and starting to put together something. And you know what? I really hope it's one of those 3-way deals. I want to see a blowout NBA.
Yeah.
Like 10 guys
whoa!
going one.
Yeah.
Let's blow this thing apart here. And I would love it. But I don't know.
And that's the point, right, Gager? Because that's what we're saying is win or lose, you still need an upgrade on defense. So why wait? Especially now you got the days off. Well, not the days off. They will practice today, tomorrow, have Wednesday off, practice Thursday, and obviously the 2 games coming up on the weekend. KD, I see your comment on the Nasty Chat about Arvidsson. We will get to that next with Joaquin Gage here on EST Afternoons. Reminder that at 2:20, Tyler Madarasz from Sirius XM-NHL will join us to go around the NHL. we'll also have the EST Flyaway to LA, which is proudly presented by the 780. This is EST Afternoons. Hernan Salas, Joaquin Gage. We're going to take a quick break, but first up, here is Zach with a sports update.
Chris Knobloch has confirmed that Zach Hyman and Victor Arvidsson are out for another 5 to 8 days and will miss the upcoming games this weekend. Elsewhere, it's the Golden Knights playing the Flyers. The Flames going at it with the Senators before the Jets meet the Wild for 11 games on tap. And in football news, the Edmonton Elks have added Jim Skitsko, Sherwood Park Rams head coach, as the team's ambassador of amateur football. And Monday Night Football sees the Chargers facing the Ravens, where you can join Lieutenant Eric at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge on Fort Road for the action. And with 9 games in the NBA, the Raptors are without Grady Dick when they play the Pistons tonight, as he sits out with a left calf strain. And we got more with Danzo and Gager on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, keeping you in the loop.
Ready for an unforgettable sports experience? It's the EST Flyaway to LA. Presented by the 780. Listen daily for the EST Flyaway keyword. Once you hear it, text us at 780-218-9999 for your chance to qualify to fly to LA. Round trip flights for 2, hotel and car rentals, all to go see Edmonton face off against either LA or Anaheim. Plus, experience the brand new Intuit Dome as the Clippers tip off against the Warriors, and top it all off with the Rams kicking off against the Cardinals at SoFi Stadium. This is more than just a trip. This is the ultimate sports experience. The EST Flyaway to LA, presented by the 780 and Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of Injury Law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oiler fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
125. Welcome back to EST Afternoons. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas, Coupe Nation in the house. Oilers coming off a big 6-2 win. They won't return to action until Friday evening. We'll have the Oil Stream pre- and post-game shows with Tom Gazzola, of course, coming to you hot. It's back-to-back, Gage, or Friday, and Saturday should be...
I think it's on location, hey?
Yeah.
Tommy, where are you Friday? Hudson's Bourbon Street. All right, get down to...
So Saturday will be YouTube Trev with Tom, because I'm off that day.
What are you doing?
It's my sister's birthday. Gotta go celebrate with her.
Yeah, going to Bourbon Street?
No, hey, we should. Damn, I never thought of that. Have dinner there and work. Yeah. No, I think we're gonna go do Activate in the afternoon and then go for dinner and stuff. So should be a fun time. Speaking of activations, I might get one in after work.
Jesus, stop it. Stop it.
Text us 780-218-9999. Hit us up on the nasty chat. It is humming. We're at 40 thumbs up already. Well on our way to 100. Keep those coming. Hey, thumbs up for Dusty for the return of the big man. It's been a while, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, it's been great.
A little bit of a beard on Dusty, too.
Yeah. He's lost a few LBs.
Yeah. Looks like Rip from Yellowstone.
Man, that guy's awesome, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think even dudes...
Cole Hauser?
I think even dudes have a crush on Rip.
Yeah. Great in what was it? Pitch Black, my first movie with Vin Diesel. Stunt double. And what was he in? Oh, Dazed and Confused. He was in.
Yeah.
And,
He's kind of the bully.
What's the one? Matt Damon. What's it called? Good Will Hunting. Yeah, he was in that one too.
Yeah, he's one of the buddies.
Yeah.
He's a good actor. He's
Great
been in
actor.
a lot of movies.
He's been in tons, dude.
He's in Tears of the Sun.
Tears of the Sun.
Yeah. I think he's in a Fast and the Furious. He's a bad guy.
Is he?
Yeah, he like puts the rat on the guy's belly. Remember with the bucket?
Ooh, yeah. I can't remember, but I'll take your word for it.
All right, KD. Let me try to find this guy, this gentleman's text. Here, speaking on Victor Arvidsson. Can we talk about Victor Arvidsson, Katie says? We knew about his injury history before we signed him. Was this a mistake? What if he isn't healthy for the playoffs? So if you look at his track record, Gager, in 2022-23, he only missed 5 games. But after that, like, he's been around 66 to around 50. It is a concern, especially because this is a guy that's never played a full NHL season. We knew his injury problems in LA. They still signed him. And now the interesting part is that it was supposed to be day-to-day. And last week it lingered and lingered and lingered and lingered. It just seems like this guy just can't recover quickly. Are you concerned about his injury?
No.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
The reason why he gets a little banged up is because of the way he plays too. Like
that's a good point.
And he's not going to change, which I like. So, and maybe this doesn't sound great, but I understand it. Like, look, I played in Sweden, and it was frustrating at times because I remember on one trip, I didn't realize one of our best players, his name was Christoph Ottosson, and he wasn't playing, but he was on the bus. Then halfway through the second, I'm like, hey, where's Otto? And he goes, oh, he's sick. I go, he's sick? He goes, yeah, they took his temperature. He was 37.5 or so, whatever, right?
Yeah.
It was a degree over. So he just didn't play. And then it was okay because we won and stuff, but he was laughing on the bus home and stuff. And then it was like, yep, see you guys later. And he didn't show up for practice like a week.
Really?
But saying this, Swedes, I'm not saying all, but you know they like to be 100% before, and this is NHL. Swedes are probably a little. Everyone learns to play. You got to play a little banged up at times, but I think it's part of their culture where they don't if they can't give it 100%, they don't want to give 80. And there's something to that, and I think it's. I mean, I learned more. That was probably the biggest lesson I learned from COVID. Was look, why am I going to work all sick and banged up, getting other people sick and not producing at my finest? Like there's definitely something to that. So I mean, he's an older player. I think this is a case where I think he probably could play, but he's just waiting for. Why not just wait till it's 100%, man? This team is deep enough right now. They just beat one of the best teams in the league. There is no rush for these guys to come back. Really good that Darnell Nurse came back. I think that solidified what the D-core is right now. But I'd rather have these guys 100% because, look, we saw what happened with Evander Kane last year.
Yeah.
And it didn't help, and that could have been the difference between a Stanley Cup and not winning.
And the aspirations for the Edmonton Oilers is to go far in the playoffs. And so they're going to slow play their injuries, especially with veteran guys, which is, to your point, where, like, don't rush him until he's 100%, right? Because you want him in the playoffs.
It's tough for players now. It's easier for a player to worry about themselves when the team sucks.
Yeah.
But once they start winning, then that little splinter in the back of your mind's going, oh, am I going to have a spot when I get back?
Yeah.
So that kind of pushes it along. I think this break couldn't have come at a better time for the Edmonton Oilers with looking at who's on the IR right now.
A lot of people in the Nasty Chat saying, is he an upgrade on Warren Foegele? I do. I think Arvidsson's a better hockey player.
Yeah. No.
Nothing against Warren Foegele, but he's more offensive. He's a legit top 6 guy. Warren Foegele, I was going to say Warren G. Warren Foegele is probably best suited for third line. I know he's having a good season in LA and he's playing top 6 for the most part there, but I think there's just, and this is not based on this year, guys. So because the points haven't been there for a lot of players on this team because they're struggling. The whole team is struggling scoring goals. But Arvidsson, for me, is a better player than Warren Foegele.
Yeah, I mean,
different.
Warren Foegele had the best year of his career last year too, right? And I think it came down to the last game, and he did score he scored his 20th on the last game of the year. I want to say I'm
looking it up right now.
Positive, but he's
20.
Yeah, he had a great year, and this year he's 6-4, 10 points. He's pretty far down. I mean, he's tied with 10 points with 3 other players. So, yeah, he's looking good. But no, I for the most part, I loved Foegele. I thought he was great because he was one of those guys that he showed you something. He'd dance a guy inside out and rip a shot back, going back against the grain against the goalie's shelf. And you're like, well, where's that all the time? He was physical, but a lot of times the play died on his stick.
Yeah. Yeah. Very streaky.
So, look, I think what you're going to be able to get out of Arvidsson from game 83 on, it was a lot more impactful than what you'd get from Warren Foegele at that stage. Because Foegele was like, he really played in between the whistles. And Arvidsson has a little bit of that junkyard dog in him, I think, that can get under the skin of. You saw the battle that him and Matthias Ekholm had last year, right? And they're good buddies. Wait till he does some of that stuff against guys he really doesn't like.
Exactly. This one on the inbox says Foegele doesn't miss 20, 30 games per year. No, you're right. Absolutely. That's from McLovin. But Arvidsson historically still outproduces him, even playing in way less games. So Foegele in the last 3 years, for 2 of those last 3 years, he didn't miss a game, Gager. But he had career high last year, 41 points. Arvidsson is way beyond that. So I get the argument. Warren Foegele was a useful player for this team, but I think Arvidsson come playoff time is just much better. Because just think back when the Oilers were playing LA for 3 straight years, and Arvidsson was in those games. He was a pain in the ass, Gager.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, so Nurse's backhand sauce pass that got intercepted for the second New York Rangers goal. So I was telling the boys on Saturday on the postgame show, that's kind of like the Oilers season there. Because Darnell Nurse was awesome in that game.
Yeah.
He played really well. And what happens? They start feeling good about themselves. Things are rolling. And then you do something. Because you should never try that pass. I don't care if you're up 10-1. So I was like, that's kind of, you can kind of connect that to the Oilers season. They feel good about themselves, and then
just stay within it.
Yeah,
like all he's doing, pulling to his forehand, snapping a tape-to-tape 10-footer, perfect pass.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden he's trying to float one in over a guy's stick. Like,
that's what
he did it the game before too.
Yeah. And listen, Darnell was really good in that game. I like when he scored, he pointed to his head like, "I'm good to go." I don't know. It was interesting. And then everybody kept bringing up that Ekholm yelled at Kapanen on one of the goals they scored, and for the life of me, I can't find that clip. I don't know what happened. But we got a lot of that on the post-game show, and I seen some today on the Nasty Chat that like Ekholm yelled at him or something.
Really?
When the Oilers scored a goal, though.
Huh?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a Swede and a Finn. They just don't like each other.
They just don't like each other, man.
Any appetite for is it Jarosik from Columbus? Seems like a name that keeps floating out there. I mean, I don't really know him, so I don't want to speak what his game is because I don't know him. But does that move the needle at all for you? Probably not.
No, I mean There's a long way to go here. I think there's still guys figuring it out. Emberson's coming along, man.
Yes.
And I'm not saying he's the answer yet, but he's let's see what happens with another 20 games with Emberson, because the one part of his game that I really like is he's quite physical. Like he has that ability to lay a shoulder into a guy when they're least expect. Yeah, so.
And that's the thing. If you can have Emerson and Kulak as your third pair, because Emerson is getting better every game, but if you can find someone for Darnell Nurse, and I'm not saying for him, I'm saying to play with him on that second pairing, Gager, that would be the move right there. And I know there's a lot of talk about they might just get a lefty, best player available because acquiring a right shot is a little difficult. But I don't know. I know Drager was on with the Morning Boys, and a few of our listeners tweeted out what he said. It was to the extent that, the Oilers are not in panic mode, but they are concerned about their decor.
Yeah. Well, there's another one. Let me get your thought on this. Katie writes in, what are we doing keeping Ryan here other than he's getting super vet treatment? Jeez. He can't play anymore, guys. -2 and 2 penalties in a 6-2 win.
I think when everybody's healthy, he's probably the odd man out. Right? Because you're going to keep capping it in because he's got wheels.
But he's killing penalties too, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like, he's a good... He was part of a really successful penalty kill.
I'm okay if he sits out from time to time. Like, I don't think he's getting sent to the minors or anything. No. But I think you're okay if he's your 13th forward for a couple of games here, and then you put him back in. It's okay to create competition. And for me, I don't care about the age or the contract. Like,
no.
Yeah, Derek Ryan, I think, is in the lineup because there's injuries, but I think he'd be a guy that would kind of go in and out.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Derek Ryan's kind of, I'm seeing some fans sour on him, but I don't mind his game, Gager. Outside of being a little bit small and he gets overpowered sometimes, I still think he plays the game the right way.
No, I mean, 2 years ago, what did he have, 11 goals? Like in that fourth line role? He does do some, like, he's a highly skilled guy. That's the thing, playing in that role. Would you like him to be kind of that more of that 6'4"?
Of course, yeah.
Power face-off guy, yeah, on your fourth line. But no, but I do like the way he can kill penalties. I don't think you're expecting a ton of offense out of there. I mean, 10 points on the year is probably okay.
Yeah,
10 to 20.
10 to 15.
Yeah.
I find it interesting on David Jiricek because he's a guy that's
he's 900. He's 900,000.
But he's only 20, which is the upside. Gager, he's only 20. He's cheap. He's a first rounder, 6 overall.
I was still talking about Ryan, but so.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So you're looking at who?
David Jiricek from the Columbus Blue Jackets. I brought him up earlier. That a lot. It seems like his name's circulating out there for the Edmonton Oilers. He's in the minors right now. He has 2 points. I guess I don't know if a 20-year-old who's kind of up and down is going to help this team.
That's not what you need.
No,
right? That's not even close to what you need. You need experience. This isn't career day anymore. This is going for something special. And a 20-year-old D-man, not named McCarr or like Hughes, it doesn't make sense to put someone in at that age that into the deep end of the pool. You need someone that's going to be able to. I mean, you need a top 4 guy, but if you're looking anywhere past like top 4 defensemen, like 5, 6, 7, you're looking at a guy that can sit in the press box for 5 games and still go in and be a solid contributing defenseman.
Yeah, do you want a 20-year-old who's played 53 NHL games to be the guy riding shotgun with Darnell Nurse? It's just, to me, you're going the other way, right, Gager?
No,
you don't, and he could be a good player in 2-3 years from now, but the Oilers need it now.
Yeah.
That's the only difference, right? Not saying he's not a bad player or anything, but we're just talking about stop picking up young or 6, 7 defensemen. That's exactly what they would be doing. He's not on the Columbus lineup, Gager. That should tell you something.
Yeah.
That should tell you something. So, again, a name gets brought up, and then everybody jumps all over it, and I just don't see what Jiricek I don't see him as the solution here. Not at least for this year. Maybe, like I said, 2-3 years down the road. He's only 20 years old. I get it, and he's a first-rounder, but no. We'll continue the Oilers talk. We'll also talk some F1. As you can see, I'm wearing the hoodie for a good reason. They finished 1-2 this weekend in Las Vegas. Fun. Max Verstappen once again takes the title home. He's becoming, he's just a legend when it comes to F1 right now. I know a lot of people don't like him, me included, but he's a hell of a driver. That's all coming up next here on EST Afternoons. Of course, in hour 2, another qualifier for the EST flyaway to LA, which will be given away this Friday, Gager. So you only got 4 more chances on this show to qualify. That's coming up in the second hour. We're back on EST Afternoons, but first, here's Zach with a sports update.
The Oilers will be without Zach Hyman and Victor Arvidsson for the next 2 games as they've been rolled out for another 5 to 8 days. And elsewhere, Philip Tomasino has been traded from the Predators to the Penguins for 2027 4th-round pick, with Tomasino having just 1 assist in 10 games this season. And the Preds hit the ice tonight with the Devils, while the Avalanche battle the Lightning and the Caps match up with the Panthers on an 11-game NHL slate. Sherwood Park Rams head coach Jim Skitsko has been named and added as the ambassador of amateur football for the Edmonton Elks. And Monday Night Football action sees the Chargers kicking off with the Ravens at 6:15, with Lieutenant Eric down at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge on Fort Road for the action. And there's 9 games in the NBA, with the Raptors taking on the Pistons, with Grady Dick missing tonight's game with a left calf strain. On the other side of the break, EST Afternoons continues with Hernan Salas and Joaquin Gage. I'm Zachary Kubusch, keeping you in the loop.
Wake up with the Nielsen Show with Dustin Nielsen and Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Black Friday at FXR Edmonton is the place to shop for the best deals of the year.
Whether you're looking for snowmobile apparel, riding gear, workwear, or a new jacket for looking stylish around town,
FXR Edmonton is the place to be. Door crasher deals up to 80% off, and the entire store is on sale, so don't miss out.
the best deals of the year. Black Friday at FXR Edmonton, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Come see us at 324 Mayfield Common.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching the button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki in a tuxedo t-shirt because it says, like, he wants to be formal, but he's also here to party too.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, Park Mazda.
It's 1:45 here on EST Afternoons. We're coming to you live from the William Huff Studios. Let's get to 100 thumbs up. We're close to 50. Let's get to at least 65 by the end of this segment. So we're going to have some fun. Continue the Oiler talk. It is buzzing right now. We've moved from Arvidsson to Derek Ryan. People are done with Derek Ryan. I still have time for him. I get it. I don't think he's an every night player, Gager.
Now, look. What would you rather have? Derek Ryan playing a few minutes here or there, or the heir apparent in that role, Philp, playing a ton in the minors from not playing the year prior. So, you know what? Just everyone cool their jets a little bit. That's exactly what you want. I'm sure once if the Oilers find themselves in a playoff spot, the Condors are done, you might likely to see Philp fill in that role at that point after averaging over 20 minutes a game. Yeah, no, I agree. And he is replaceable on the PK. I think you can find guys, and he's a fourth line guy. I agree in that sense. But for a guy that if you have to cut down minutes or staple him to the bench in the third, it's probably more beneficial with a guy like Derek Ryan than Noah Philp, like Gager just alluded to. Waddy in Cloverdale says Fabrils looked pretty good in Columbus. Did the Oilers miss the boat on a free player? Well, to be honest, they wouldn't have got him anyway because there's a pecking order
and he was selected by one of the lower teams or the higher seeded team in the waiver claim. So that's kind of it is what it is. And I know we had a Nashville guy on, and just I think the word being tossed around with Fabro was soft. So I haven't watched him enough to make that claim, but we'll see. I did want to get to this. We'll switch gears here. We'll just have some fun. You played a lot of pro hockey. You've been to a lot of different arenas, and I want Kuba in on this as well. If you were going to see your favorite NHL team in a road city, regular season, what would be your what would be your top 5?
Top 5?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I'll say Montreal won.
Okay. Are we just going to go around? I got to go with Chicago. The city of Chicago is fantastic. The rink is cool. Not in the best part of town, but Chicago's great, man.
I got to say MSG.
Yeah.
One of the most popular, if not the most popular North American arena or whatever of all time.
So we've landed on Chicago, MSG, and Montreal. What are the other two? This is arena, like not city, not like party town, but going to the game in the arena.
And next, I would probably
Vegas.
I'm thinking Nashville first.
Oh, okay.
Nashville's fun because they have their own chants. Nashville's a great city. I think I would go Nashville next.
Cass. Coob.
Hey, the K's got you there. Does it have to be current?
No.
Fully current?
No.
Okay. Montreal Forum.
Montreal Forum's epic. It's the same as Maple Leaf Gardens.
Yeah.
You know, when they had no no barrier between the fans and the benches.
Yeah.
I thought that
they
was
still don't. Like in the Toronto, like you're right there. Like you're basically in Toronto, you're sitting with fans as the backup goalie. Like I remember a guy drinking beer and he was trying to get me to drink some. He went away and I grabbed it and I held it, and then he was looking for it and then I put it back for him. But no, it's cool to be in part of the fans.
Okay, so the Forum, we have to throw Boston Gardens in there.
Old Boston Gardens?
Because remember that rink was smaller than the traditional NHL rink?
Yeah. It was a little matchbox.
That was crazy. I always remember that as a kid, that when the Oilers were playing him in the final, they were talking about how the rink is a little bit smaller than the traditional NHL. You got another one, Coop?
I don't know. It's a newer one just because it's nice. Little Caesars Arena.
Detroit, yeah.
Tommy had some great things to say. It's like Rogers' place here, but upgraded a little bit. Like he says, it's really nice.
Really cool.
That's a good one. Next one, I got to go Vegas. You know,
yeah,
it's an atmosphere like no other. The production value of a Vegas Golden Knights hockey game, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's good. Joel says Montreal's beautiful. Mitcher says Chicago is amazing. Hearing Jim Cornelius sing the anthem is magical.
That's awesome.
With the the organ, right?
Yeah,
they still do that, right?
Yeah. But it's not like the old Chicago, like because the fans are kind of up and away from you. So, but still loud, like they're all cheering, which is pretty neat before the game.
Yeah. C-Run says Calgary. Love beating Calgary at home. Saddle Dome has awesome views. I've never been to the Saddle Dome.
No. Yeah, it's well, I haven't been in years, but it's just, I mean, it needs they need a new rink.
Well, it's the best arena you played in.
The best?
Yeah, North American.
I don't know. That's a tough one.
Did you ever play in Hartford?
I did, but against the Wolfpack.
But was it the same?
Yeah, same rink.
Is it
it's just a
crappy?
It looks like the Agricom.
Dark.
Yeah. It's just very. God, no. I'm trying to think. I'm thinking of not just NHL rinks because, as you know, I was well traveled in my professional hockey playing days. The ones down in like Florida were interesting. Like I played in Pensacola one time.
Oh, okay.
And who was the one in Louisiana? The Ice Gators. We were there right. The one time I was there was right during Mardi Gras or whatever.
Oh,
so they're throwing beads and stuff, and it wasn't right. And there was actually a team in New Orleans Probably this is the most interesting building I ever played in North America now that I think about it, because they converted an old casino into an arena.
Yeah.
So it was like there was chandeliers over top. It was just bizarre. I'll go New Orleans.
That's crazy. Yeah, I've never watched Edmonton on the road, which is a little bizarre. I've never been to another hockey game. Like I've been in.
Really?
Yeah, like I've never been to Calgary, Vancouver, anything like that. So it's crazy. Coob, have you
been to?
Yeah,
I've been to Vancouver and Calgary.
Oh,
I went to
look
Vancouver.
at you.
Well, not to watch. I wanted to. I was that close to buying a ticket, but I didn't have the time. Didn't stay there the extra day, so I couldn't sit there and watch the game while they were there.
Yeah, Little Caesars Arena and Joe Louis Arena have to be on that list. Mike, the Michigan fan. Lucas says, Gage, did you ever play at the Crush Can in Moose Jaw?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Fought Jody Lehman.
Oh.
Bench clearing brawl.
Nice.
He wanted to fight me. I was like, I don't want to fight you.
Was he obviously the other goalie?
Yeah. No, he was the goalie on my team right now.
No, but I meant like, did you like grab a player because it was a scrum?
No, it was scrumming. He kept going, let's go. And I'm like, what are you doing, man? And then I said something, probably really bad to him. And then finally we just kind of threw down. Hit him a couple times. That was it.
Yeah.
It's hard to fight with
goalie gear. Yeah.
It's stupid.
That is amazing. Keep sending us
Big Maple. Come on, Gage. Center 200. Center 200 was the arena in Sydney, Nova Scotia. It was hilarious, man. That was a good rink. I won't mind it. Then they built a casino right into it too, so that was a little bit of trouble.
Nice. So let us know if you're going to see your favorite NHL team in a road city. What would be your first choice? Gager picked. What was your first choice?
Chicago.
Yeah.
Then I had Nashville. Then I had Vegas. Then I had the New Orleans. And I guess I'm going back to Nova Scotia for my fifth one.
Coop's first pick was. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I forgot.
MSG.
Yeah, that's epic. And mine was the Montreal Arena. I just love their pregame game. Like they play that Coldplay song.
Oh yeah,
with the fire on the ice.
Fire on the ice looks good.
That's pretty good. Let's get to F1, Gager.
Great weekend. Max becomes 4, but actually 3-time world champion. I would say. Yeah, I like Vegas. I liked you know what? It was nice to watch the race because they had unique camera angles that gave you I felt a little bit more feeling of the speed at which these guys travel. And they had that super long straightaway, right? So some good overtakes. The first few laps were great. George Russell, man, he just he looked
Georgie.
Looked like Max just took over. I really thought. I know Jay asked me who do you pick, and I really thought that Ferrari was going to dominate.
Well, so did Tim.
Yeah. And but because of the weather, like it's funny to see those guys in Vegas, and they all got like their winter Ferrari jackets, which look amazing. Like I'd love one of those things. But I guess the problem is that took a while to warm up the tires, and if you didn't do it properly, you'd get that graining, which they basically start bubbling, and you lose performance. So you saw Leclerc and Carlos; they looked like they were going to catch, but they just pushed too much on their tires and then fell back. And then Mercedes got it right this week. That thing was a rocket ship, and they were able to manage their tires a little bit better, and a little bit of a flex from George Russell, I think, because Lewis was cutting through the field there, and they were saying, well, he could, if he keeps this up, he could be within striking distance within the last couple laps. But I think George was looking at those times and taking care of his tires, and then he just dropped the hammer at the end of it. But no, kind of amazing to see Mercedes get back to a 1-2, which, my hope is that this just continues into next year, where, we've had different winners throughout the last few races, and the podiums have constantly changed. And this is really what you want. And
Way better than last year.
Way better than last year. I mean, the drivers' championship came down to. I mean, it was basically done after Brazil. Let's face it, with Max's performance. But if Red Bull brought the wrong wing, like if anything was going to affect them, it was going to be that, and maybe Lando could have done something, but they were on the back foot this weekend.
I'll ask you this, Max Verstappen, is it odd to have a guy win, with 2 races still to go, but the constructors, they're not in the top 2?
Well, yeah, and it's weird because that's where the big money is, right? So I'm sure Christian Horner's quite pissed because he's got Max that's leading, and obviously he gets points, but Checo just
a bad season.
Yeah, just another terrible season for Checo. I don't know. I think they're
so this shows that Max Verstappen is truly great because his team's not in the fight for the constructors, but he still won the driving.
Yeah. I mean, he put in Red Bull was so far ahead still at the beginning of the year, right? Like he was cruising again. It looked like it was nice to see other teams finally catch up. But I said this before. There was 2 years ago, Red Bull was fined because they went over the cap, and so their wind tunnel time was reduced. And I think Tim Hraney said it, that you won't see major changes next year with that amount of wind tunnel time reduced, but it'll be this year.
Yeah.
About halfway through the year is where you'll see more teams because they just have more wind tunnel time. And he was right, man. This has been really exciting.
Yeah, and the next race is the Qatar Grand Prix. Goes this weekend. Should be another fun one. And some news from today, Gager. F1 has reached an agreement in principle with GM to supporting GM/Cadillac as the 11th team to the F1 grid in 2026.
That's going to be good, man. The new regulations all come in there. Seeing Cadillac on the side of a car will be pretty cool.
And it opens up 2 jobs.
2 more jobs.
Yeah. Well, a ton more, but 2 more.
And I think just because it's funny to hear them, they'll show Magnussen or Hülkenberg and go, and America's team, but no one really associates Haas with America,
Yeah.
Like I know it's Gene Haas, whatever. He probably should rename that thing. But now you're going to really have an American company. Probably look for some American drivers, I would assume.
Yeah.
Just to get a little bit more recognition, but I'm all for it, man. I think it'll be great. The more you add, the more things can go wrong. And
so you're adding 2 cars.
Yep.
To the
22 cars
to the grid. So that's going to be even more chaos.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
a lot of chaos. And there's if you watch like the Sky One F1 podcast, and they have a lot of really good suggestions of just tweaking the rules a little bit. I always thought that there should be points given for the teams that finish 10 through 20 as well, because then you'll have still fighting within there as too. I don't know how they do it, but I'd like to see that. And plus, you can't touch the car on a full red flag when you come in. You got to leave it. You can't be changing tires because that's just too much of an unfair advantage.
You know what what I'm looking forward to is their gear. How nice is it going to look?
Oh, the
I
Cadillac
love
stuff?
F1 gear.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's the best, man.
That's going to be
I wore that
awesome.
my McLaren hoodie. You wouldn't believe how many looks I got at that thing. That thing's gorgeous.
Well, it's interesting because here the most you see it when you go out is Mercedes. I see it a lot, like T-shirts and jackets and.
Well, when you buy a Mercedes, you get for another like $8,000, they'll give you a T-shirt.
Yeah, and you see a little bit of Red Bull, but it's going to be fun. Another race this weekend. We'll try to get Tim on again. He was great last week. I wonder if he's going to Qatar.
He interviewed Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
He's just living the dream.
Yeah.
From Lucha Libre to Gordon Ramsay interview. What a life. What a life. That does it for hour 1. Lots of Oilers talk. We also talk some F1. And if you're going on the road to watch the Oilers, which arena would be your number 1 choice? We'll continue the Oilers talk in the second segment. We'll also go around the NHL with Tyler Madarasz from Sirius XM-NHL. And, of course, the EST Flyaway to LA, which is presented by the 780. Portions of this hour brought to you by the Canadian Brew House. NHL lives at the Canadian Brew House. With Thursday Night Football and your chance to win a trip to an NFL home opener of your choice. $1 off tankards of Bud Light and Budweiser. Details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com. We also got to talk. I don't know if you saw the Commanders Cowboys game. Holy smokes.
Yeah, that helped the old parlay there. Thanks, Commanders.
That was probably the best 3 minutes of NFL football we've had all season. That was truly amazing. We'll get to all that here on EST Afternoons. Hernan Salas, Joaquin Gage, Zachticum. Keep hammering that thumbs up. Let's get to 100. We're back after the break here on Edmonton Sports Talk.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
In life, it takes a village. From childhood to your golden years, we all need support. At Capital Care Foundation, we've built that village for our 2,100 seniors. Join us in creating a nurturing environment that feels like home and fosters community connections. Your donation makes a difference. Visit capitalcarefoundation.net today and become a vital part of our village. Because together, we can make every stage of life a shared journey. Be a part of the journey. Support Capital Care Foundation.
Victor Arvidsson and Zach Hyman will miss the next 2 games as they sit out for another 5 to 8 days for the Edmonton Oilers. And the NHL schedule today sees the Blues up against the Rangers, the Red Wings meeting the Islanders, and the Kings dropping the puck with the Sharks, with 11 games around the league. The Edmonton Elks have named Sherwood Park Rams head coach Jim Skitsko as the team's ambassador of amateur football. And Monday Night Football action has the Ravens and Chargers, where you can join Lieutenant Eric at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge on Fort Road for 6:15 kickoff. And on the court, the Raptors throw down with the Pistons for one of 9 games in the association, which sees Grady Dick out of action for Toronto as he hits a sideline with a left calf strain. EST Afternoons continues right now. I'm Zachary Kubusch, keeping you in the loop.
Here on EST Afternoons, Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas, Coob Nation in the house. It's a busy one today. Tommy's still here. Reed and Jay getting ready for their show at 3 o'clock. Just ahead of the EST Flyaway, another qualifier. Only 4 more chances on our show.
Wow.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll give you the correct keyword today. So I made a boo-boo on Friday. Coming up in this hour, of course, another qualifier. And Tyler Madarasz from Sirius XM-NHL. We'll check in on those pesky Maple Leafs, the struggling Red Blacks. What's going on in St. Louis? Your good old buddy and teammate Drew Bannister let go over the weekend for Jim Montgomery. What'd you think of that?
I saddened, first of all, because it would have been great to have seen him when St. Louis rolls into town. Surprising. You know, it's weird how these Boston coaches get gassed, but then it's like picked up the next day. It's crazy.
So it probably doesn't happen if Jim Montgomery's not available.
Definitely not. I don't think so. I can't see that happening. Yeah, it's and I don't know. Bushnevich, is that am I saying his name right?
Yes.
Was interviewed and he was talking. I don't know if the headline was a little cryptic. It explaining that they were too defensive-minded.
Okay.
And not really getting in on the forecheck to generate offense, things like that. So he seemed, I mean, when things aren't going well, it's not great to be part of any hockey team, right? You're all a little bit upset, but 9-12 on the year. It's not like, they're 7 points back from Dallas. I'm not saying that they would close, but they're not out of it by any means, right? They're still kind of in the hunt, I would say. 13th in the conference, so a lot of ground to make up. But they've had some injuries, so sometimes there's a little bit of a leeway. But just to have, he came in as an intern coach, had the intern tag removed. I believe he signed a 2-year deal with the St. Louis Blues as well.
Yeah.
And then the light of a better offer.
If this doesn't work out, it's not good.
Well, I think Armstrong was talking about that too, going, look, we've got the best coach out there. We've done these things. Now it's on the players.
Overrated coach? I mean, his regular season numbers are unreal.
We always measure success with Stanley Cups, playoff success, right? I mean, if you were probably look at Montgomery and trying to think, Maurice in the same light, great regular season coaches, but now I put Maurice way above. Why? Because he's a Stanley Cup champion, right? He coached his team to the Stanley Cup. It's just that little extra notch. I think it gives a coach to do it when it matters most. It'll be interesting to see. Look, I've had great coaches. I've had complete numbskulls, I think. And what it comes down to, really at the end of the day, is the players on the team buying into the method that the coach, whatever he's selling.
Yeah.
And if you get everyone on the same page, you're probably going to be more successful.
You know why they're struggling, Gager? Because Broberg's out.
That's just what people want to hear.
Keep hammering that thumbs up. We're at 64, well on our way to 100. Don't stop now. Just don't forget to subscribe as well. Remember, it's free because some people get a little scared when they see that subscribe button. Just hit it. Don't worry about it. And give us a thumbs up. It helps with the algorithms. More people can have eyes on the show. So it helps out. Of course, text us 780-218-9999 or hit us up on the Nasty Chat. If you're just listening to us, iHeart or the TuneIn radio apps or EdmontonSportsTalk.com, just hit the listen live button. If you like to watch us, EST YouTube channel. A few messages here. Bones, Gager fights his back up. Ha, 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 ha. That's what we're talking about that. Pizza Boy says, going to Chicago for the January game. Nice to hear it's high on Gager's list. Gager, where should I go for dinner before the game? From Pizza Boy.
There's some of the best restaurants on the planet in Chicago. I mean, I would, wherever you're staying, just ask the hotel, whatever you're looking for. Probably some
steakhouse.
There's great steakhouses, but there's lots of other things too. You're probably a Chicago deep dish place. Try that. It's not everyone's ball of wax, but the biggest thing in Chicago is unfortunately it's not till the summertime, but it's the Taste of Chicago, where imagine Taste of Edmonton on steroids. Like it's with all the best ones. But I mean, if you've watched The Bear, look at The Bear,
because that's based in Chicago.
It's based in Chicago, right? So, and you know what? If you're there a little, when did he say he was going? January. Michigan Avenue is so much fun. It's obviously if you can get there at Christmas time, way more fun. But if you just will go down all the streets, you go to the department store that Clark Wilhelm Griswold went in and was looking for something for his deceased wife, I think.
Jody says, went to a game in Buffalo 10 years ago. What a great place to eat. 4 a.m. last call, too. Buffalo, eh?
Buffalo.
Oh. NFL. Commanders, Cowboys. What a game. RJ Milne he's hot. He's going to bring a nice spicy rant to his show with Reed Wilkins. But Gager, in the fourth quarter alone, 41 points scored. absolutely amazing. So I'll start with the kick return from Turpin. Like, he fumbles it, and then he does a video game spin move, and he is gone. Like, that guy, the commentator said the fastest guy in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, he was gone.
I can't believe that spin move worked. Like, it had everyone on the other side. Like,
it did.
It pointed, like they say in hockey anyway, the good one-on-one players, they wait for to see the toes of the player facing the other way. Everyone's toes were going the other way, and he cut back. Like, and he exploded. That was crazy.
Unreal.
I'd love to see way more of that stuff in the NFL.
That was great.
Because that was must watch. But again, the spin move was like, oh, wow, that was a really quick spin move, but it just worked.
And you make a good point, because like how everybody fell for it. You never see that.
No,
like it was.
Yeah,
it was unreal. Go watch it if you haven't.
It was very. What was his name? And what was the Swede that did the spinorama on the?
Omar.
Linus Olmark.
Yeah, so they're down by 10. They go for the field goal with 1:44 to get the ball back, right? Then they're down by 7. Jaden Daniels, with 40 seconds left? He's deep inside his 20. He throws like an 86-yard bomb to McLaurin, where Dallas is kind of in a prevent. Don't let him get into. Don't let him come. And he still beat the prevent defense. And the commentator was awesome. Like another miracle in Washington. They're down by 1. And their guy that hasn't missed an extra point up until that game, he missed one earlier, misses the second, and he wasn't close, Gager.
I know.
You go for 2 in that?
I think I am. Why not? Go for the win.
Go for the win. And especially because he had missed a field goal and he had missed an extra point. So
and it's the Cowboys. Everything's... The 8th chakra is so tight at that point, trying to get a win.
Oh, man. I couldn't... Like, I was jumping off my couch, man. I could not... But, like, the McLaurin pass alone, Gager... One, fine, he's open, but how do you let him beat everybody to the end zone? And you're in a prevent defense. They needed a touchdown. All you had to do was stand 40 yards back and don't let anyone beat you long, and they did exactly that. It was unreal. You should have seen Cowboys media on Twitter. They were like, unreal. And then they try the onside kick. Dallas picks it up and runs it in for the touchdown.
That was amazing.
It was the wildest 3 minutes in an NFL game I have seen in a long time, Gager. That was awesome.
It was good. It was really good. What do you think of the Har Bowl tonight?
Yeah. Man, the Ravens, though, man. Like, they show up against the big teams and they'll lose one, and then Chargers are kind of all over the place too. I like both quarterbacks, so really I think that's going to be a fun game. You know what's funny? On Friday, you asked me Texans Titans. I'm like, Texans.
Yeah, thanks for that one.
Yeah. I was like, Titans are not beating Houston at home.
I know.
Oh man!
And I got to start posting my ridiculous parlays so everyone can just go the other way. I didn't even after I saw it. I didn't make like. I think I actually picked the Rangers to win too, so it didn't.
Yeah, but that's.
I was just going off the game previous, but I didn't expect the greatest game of the season that the Oilers were going to put together at that point. But
I think a lot of people took the Rangers in that one. Chiefs just squeaked by the Carolina Panthers. That was an entertaining game. My Niners just with their backup, who had a broken finger, and they have another guy that they signed to be their backup. And they wouldn't play him. They were awful.
Yeah,
it was embarrassing. And the Packers didn't even play that good, and they still won 38-10. They still won 38-10. Another good game was the Chicago Bears, Minnesota Vikings went to OT. Vikings had to win it on a field goal, and then Detroit Lions are just a wagon right now. Tua's looking really good.
Yeah.
But they played the Patriots, so Gager, but
See, look, you want to hear this parlay I had?
Sure.
So it was Denver Raiders. I had the Broncos. Texans win. So I lost that one. Then I had Vikings, Bears. Vikings won. Detroit Lions won. Dolphins won. Tampa won. Commanders lost. KC won. Arizona Seahawks won. Green Bay won. Philadelphia won. The Jets, Winnipeg Jets won. and then I have the Ravens beating the Chargers. So I was close. And the two that I've lost shouldn't have lost.
Yeah.
So I really should be. I was all hoping for just a great Monday Night Football, trying to hit the parlay on the Monday with the last game, and it's completely ruined.
You picked Ravens?
I picked the Ravens.
It's going to be a fun game. Always fun. And it's a busy night in the NHL, Gage, for a Monday.
I haven't even looked.
I think you were saying, Zach, they were all prime games? Is that correct?
I mean, it's Monday Night Prime, so I just made a quick Google search, and it just said if you want to watch Monday Night Hockey, you got to watch it on Prime, and there's 11 games tonight in the NHL. So,
time to parlay.
That's another parlay. Take Ottawa.
You know what?
Don't listen to me, man. I've given you bad advice.
I'm never listening to you again. Okay, let's do this. Let's do the Gager Coolbet massive parlay here. All right, Kings Sharks. We got to go Kings minus 225. Okay. Kraken Ducks. Jeez, that's a tough one, but I'm gonna go with my Kraken. Okay. Oh, this is a tough one, guys. This would be a good game to watch. Jets Wild.
I'm taking the Wild.
Came off a loss, right? The Flames back, but they're back home.
Yeah.
So everyone lays an egg back home. I'm going Jets.
Okay.
Flames, Sens.
Sens are due, man.
Jeez, that's another tough one, man. That's really tough. And I hate that you said that. Don't put doubt in my mind, Hernan. You know, the Flames, they just beat the Wild, feeling good. I'm going Flames, man.
Okay.
Red Wings, Islanders.
Islanders.
Really?
Yeah.
Red Wings on the island? Okay. Ugh. Colorado Avalanche, Tampa Bay Lightning. Who you got?
Oh, I'm going to take Tampa.
Tampa? Okay, we'll go Tampa. Knights, Flyers. We'll go Knights.
Sure.
I think.
Yeah.
Blues, Rangers.
Coach bump.
Plus 200.
Well, Rangers are just coming off some bad losses, too.
With a little bit of Drury's yelling at them. Yeah. I think we'll go with the blue shirts. Okay. Devils, Preds. Nashville in New Jersey.
Devils.
Gotta go Devils. Capitals, Panthers. I think Panthers in that one.
Yeah.
And then we got another beautiful
tough one.
Stars, Hurricanes. Stars in Carolina.
Spencer Martin starting for Carolina. Ottinger for Dallas. If that changes anything.
Do the Stars.
Okay. Dallas.
All
right. So LA, Seattle, Winnipeg, Calgary, Islanders, Tampa Bay, Vegas, Rangers, Devils, Florida, Dallas.
The bet is placed.
Let's go. Smitty the Welder says Flames game is the only game on Prime according to the schedule I see. Perfect. Aiden says got to pick up some upsets or you won't win for sure. Matt Hyman says, man, I hope you're right about the Jets, Gage. That's going to be a fun game, man.
That's going to be I'll watch that one.
Hopefully Kaprizov is good. Did I say
is
that?
Is he Kaprizov?
Kaprizov.
I
saw that he was skating this morning. I don't know if he's actually in the lineup though. So
Did you see they were discussing that on Hockey Night in Canada? How the Minnesota Wild are a little bit perturbed at the treatment that Kaprizov. They showed the injury. Who fell on him? Was that Tyler Myers? And he kind of went down in the splits. It looked like that looks like he popped a hip. It looked pretty bad. It wasn't intentional, I don't think. And I didn't find any malice in Kajula's hit too. It was just
no.
If anything, the forearm shiver was. But it says he'll be a game time decision against the Jets. So
hey, stuff happens, right? We got to get out, though, as we got Tyler Madarasz from Sirius XM-NHL joining us next. We'll go around the NHL as EST Afternoons is coming to you live from the William Huff Studios. We're back after the break. It's EST Afternoons. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas here on Edmonton Sports Talk. But first up, here's Cube Nation with an update.
Chris Knobloch has confirmed Zach Hyman and Victor Arvidsson are out for another 5 to 8 days and will miss the next 2 games this weekend. And elsewhere, it's the Golden Knights playing the Flyers. The Flames going at it with the Senators before the Jets meet the Wild for 11 games on tap in the NHL. And in football news, the Edmonton Elks have added Jim Skitsko, Sherwood Park Rams head coach, as the team's ambassador of amateur football. And Monday Night Football sees the Chargers facing the Ravens, where you can join Lieutenant Eric down at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge on Fort Road for the action. And with 9 games in the NBA, the Raptors are without Grady Dick when they play the Pistons, as he sits out with a left calf strain. On the other side of the break, Tyler Madarasz from Sirius XM-NHL joins Hernan and Gager. I'm Zachary Kubusch, keeping you in the loop.
Book your holiday party at the CBH today. The Canadian Brewhouse is your ultimate destination for events, parties, fundraisers, and more. 'Tis the season to celebrate. Visit and book now in-store or at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
Ready for an unforgettable sports experience? It's the EST Flyaway to LA. Presented by the 780. Listen daily for the EST Flyaway keyword. Once you hear it, text us at 780-218-9999 for your chance to qualify to fly to LA. Round trip flights for 2, hotel and car rentals, all to go see Edmonton face off against either LA or Anaheim. Plus, experience the brand new Intuit Dome as the Clippers tip off against the Warriors, and top it all off with the Rams kicking off against the Cardinals at SoFi Stadium. This is more than just a trip. This is the ultimate sports experience. The EST Flyaway to LA, presented by the 780 and Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Hockey lives at the Canadian Brewhouse. Every Oilers game day, get $1 off tankards of Molson Canadian and Coors Light. Plus, you can win game tickets and a surf and turf dinner for 2 at the end of the season. Full details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they're the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
2:25. Welcome back to EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas. It's Zach Kubusch here with you. Lots of Oilers talk. We've talked some F1, a crazy NFL Sunday as well. Of course, the Monday night game, Chargers-Ravens. You want to hang out with LTE? Century Casino, Fort Road. Loaded burger.
Loaded burger. Yeah, I heard that. Loaded burger.
So go see our guy LTE down there. Of course, the Oilers don't return to the ice for a game day until Friday. They will practice today. They already practiced today. They'll practice tomorrow, off Wednesday, practice Thursday, and then we're off and running once again after an extended break here in a weird schedule for the Edmonton Oilers. But let's get to our guest of the day, Tyler Madarasz, Sirius XM-NHL co-host and producer on the NHL Morning Skate. Tyler, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing great. Good to hear from you guys again.
Yeah, let's start out east where you're located, Tyler. Ottawa Senators struggling mightily once again. Seems like it's the same theme year in and year out with this team. What are you seeing going wrong here with the Ottawa Senators? A lot of chatter surrounding the Sens.
Yeah, really everything's going wrong, isn't it? Like, there's really no positives coming out of Ottawa this year. I guess the one thing is that they have their goaltender in Linus Ullmark, but has Ullmark even been that spectacular? Like what we saw him do in Boston the last, even just looking at last year, like the sample size Ullmark had there when he split time with Swayman, he was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But remember, he had the Boston Bruins in front of him. So struggling in some games for Ottawa, that's one of the main problems. Their decor, we've thought it's going to be good every single year. Like Thomas Chabot always seems to take a step back when we expect them to take a step forward. Jake Sanderson looks pretty good. So the young talent is there. We're just waiting for it to emerge. And up front, like, they're not really playing as a team. team. They have so much fun talent there, like from Tkachuk to Norris to Batherson to Stützle. They just can't seem to put it together as a whole. And Travis Green has a lot going on 20 games in, and it's going to be a long season if you're a Senators fan.
We saw that Steve Staios mentioned, it goes, look, we've changed everything. You know, there's been ownership change, there's been coach changes, GM changes. Now it's time for the players to work things out. If this doesn't happen, is there going to be a big move by Steve Staios to kind of, I mean, he mentioned that could be one of the core players moving out to get rock the boat and hopefully right this ship. Do you see something like that happening soon?
Oh, he just disconnected. I'll ring him back up.
Okay, I didn't like the question.
That's a great question, Gage.
Was it?
Yeah, because like our buddy Ross Levitan, and I saw their podcast, and like they said they had their best podcasts ever because I think everybody's freaking out.
Oh yeah,
and then people are questioning Brady Tkachuk, like is he too emotional? And I'm just like they have the makings of a good roster, Gage. I think it's a little. I don't think they were going to be a playoff like contender.
I thought they'd be knocking at the door.
At the wild card. Yeah, that's different. You can go ahead, Gager, with Tyler there as we disconnect.
Yeah, sorry, Tyler. I asked an Emmy award-winning question there. Sorry, you didn't get it. I'll try to make it short and sweet here. But Steve Staios was in the news saying that they've made enough changes to the coaches and everything else that's on the players there, and if nothing happens, there could be a key piece of the Ottawa Senators possibly moving out. Do you see, if they don't right this ship, could you see something like that happening in the near future here?
Without a doubt, you'd almost have to make a big move, and I think Thomas Chabot would be a main piece on the back end. Just a change of scenery would do him well. I know he's dealt with a lot of injuries, and us as Canadian hockey fans in general, not just Senators fans, have wanted to see Chabot kind of turn that corner, and he hasn't been able to do it in Ottawa. So maybe it's him. Maybe it's Brady Tkachuk. Like, you're not trading Tim Stützle. You're not trading Josh Norris or Drake Batherson, most likely. I think from what we saw with Brady's brother wanting to leave Calgary, he ends up in a really great spot in Florida, wins a Stanley Cup there. I really could see it being Brady Tkachuk. I know he's the captain. He's the leader of that hockey team. But at some point, we know Brady Tkachuk wants to win. It's just not going to be in Ottawa, plain and simple. We watch the games. We see that the Senators still haven't been able to take that hump when we all thought they at least could have been pushing for a wild card spot this year. So I would think it would maybe be a Brady Tkachuk, probably not this season, but maybe at some point in the offseason or at some point next season.
Tyler Madarasz from Sirius XM-NHL joining us here on EST Afternoons. The other team there in Ontario, the Leafs, no Matthews, no problem. They're rolling. They're rolling good right now, Tyler. What are you seeing from this team without their captain and their star player? They picked up a win last night against the Utah Hockey Club. The Leafs looking pretty good early on.
Yeah, the Maple Leafs have really, really been impressive without their captain. Austin Matthews hopefully is returning on Wednesday against the Florida Panthers. But right now, watching Maple Leafs games, they don't even need him. Like, when Matthews has been out, other guys have stepped up. Obviously, Mitch Marner has done that. It seems like he's had 2 points in every single Maple Leafs game and Maple Leafs win that they've had since Matthews is out. So Marner stepped up. John Tavares has kind of looked better than he did near the end of last season and early this season, so that's a plus for Leafs fans. William Nylander's turned it on, and obviously a cool storyline that his brother is on the team now, and they had a couple shifts together going back to Sunday, so that's a main thing. And goaltending's the key, right? Like, we talk about it with the Oilers when I come on a lot, but like Joseph Woll and Anthony Stolarz finally look like a capable tandem. When the Leafs signed Stolarz, I was like, what are they doing? Like, really? He was a backup in Philly, kind of the same thing in Anaheim and in Florida, was a backup to Bobrovsky when they won the Cup. But Stolarz has looked great, and now Woll's healthy and looking really, really good. He's looked unbelievable in his last 3 games. So the Leafs finally have goaltending, and that's obviously been their necessity over the last couple of years and why they failed in the playoffs.
Tyler, there's a number of NHL games this evening. My eyes kind of gravitate towards a few of them. You have Colorado playing Tampa. One that's a little bit intriguing with St. Louis, the new coach. What Chris Drury has said about possibly moving one of his major centerpieces with the New York Rangers. There's a big matchup with Dallas and Carolina, but the one that kind of really piques my interest with 2 really, really good teams is the Winnipeg Jets against the Minnesota Wild. Are there any of those games, or is there another one that kind of you think your eyes will gravitate towards more so tonight than another game?
Yeah, it's funny. I was looking at the schedule this morning when we were doing our show, and I was like, all right, 11 games. What's going to be the main game? You usually have a main game when we're kind of flipping around, and it is that 8 p.m. Eastern start for me. So it's Jets, Wild. Should be a really great game. Like the Jets, it almost seems like the sky's falling in when they've been losing a couple games here and there because of how they started. But on the road in Minnesota, just really should be an unbelievable game. We'll see if Kyle Connor can keep it going, and the Jets can get that record even better than what they started with. So that's probably my main game at 8. But before that, I think the early starts, it's got to be Jim Montgomery making his head coaching debut back with St. Louis. He was the assistant coach there when Craig Berube was there, and obviously at Madison Square Garden. What a place to make your head coaching debut, and the first of a 5-year deal. So still crazy to me that Doug Armstrong brings him in. It's going to be Jim Montgomery and Alex Steen there as the two main guys, the coach and GM for the long haul. So excited to see how the Blues respond, because the Bruins have responded in couple pretty good wins under Joe Sacco so far.
Tyler, the Pittsburgh Penguins saw a minor trade today with the Preds here. They sit at 18 points, only 7 wins on the season. How do you see Mr. Kyle Dubas handling this roster going forward? He's got, of course, the great Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin. He's got some older players recently signed as well. Is there any chance that this team is going to try to move any of those veteran pieces here with probably a loss year again?
I hope so. It would be good for us, good for you guys. It would be good for hockey fans if they did it. It's not going to be the captain, Sidney Crosby. And hey, if that happens, I think we'd have to applaud Kyle Dubas, because that would be one of the crazier moves ever if he does trade Sidney Crosby somewhere else. But like maybe it's a Letang, maybe it's a Malkin. You're looking at other pieces like a Raquel potentially, or a Marcus Pettersson on the back end. Those are obviously better options for him to trade, and I don't know what he can get back for them right now, but hopefully pieces to build for the future. Pittsburgh is just, they're bad to watch. Like the 600th goal Crosby scored on Saturday, I can't even believe the rest of that game. Like such a milestone moment. The Pens come off the bench, they celebrate with their leader, and then all of a sudden they just throw out an absolute stinker. And I think they ended up losing that game like 6-1 to Utah. So an embarrassing performance when their captain has a milestone moment. And like he buys today, as you said, like he goes out and trades for Phil Tomasino. I know he still has upside. He was a first round pick back a few years ago in Nashville, hasn't lived up to expectations after some really good OHL seasons. But it's like, what is he doing here? I don't know. I guess you might as well take a shot on Phil Tomasino and see if he can do anything playing in the top 6. But at this point, Kyle Dubas is probably looking for anything that can make his team a little bit better.
With the firing and hiring of Jim Montgomery, we saw last year, it only took one domino to fall before we saw other GMs pull the trigger on their coaches. Tyler, who do you think is kind of on that hot seat at the moment? Is Pittsburgh the obvious choice here, or is there another head coach that you think his job could possibly be on the line here?
I think it would be Pittsburgh, but it's such like a weird year where Mike Sullivan's going to coach Team USA at the Four Nations coming up in February. So it's like, do they fire him? I don't know. That would be weird if he was unemployed and the head coach for that Team USA team. So I don't think it's Mike Sullivan. I think the main name that sticks out for me is Derek Lalonde in Detroit. There's been some rumblings that maybe the Yzer plan shifts that way and moves on from Lalonde. We thought he was the guy. It doesn't seem like he is. So if Detroit keeps falling, and maybe let's just say Ottawa and Montreal somehow pass them in those Atlantic Division standings, Steve Yzerman could go in a different direction. I was listening to Spittin' Chicklets. I guess maybe it was like end of last week, and they were throwing out the name Sergei Fedorov maybe coming over from the KHL back to Detroit.
Wow.
If that ever did happen. So I'd be all in for that. Like I loved Sergei Fedorov, and he's coached already in the KHL for a few seasons. So maybe Fedorov comes back. I know it's just speculation and rumors, but Lalonde would be the guy where I'd be looking at him maybe as the next guy to go.
From the outside looking in here in Edmonton, a team that's kind of Jekyll and Hyde so far this season. I mean, a stinker against the Minnesota Wild on Thursday night, and we were all losing it here in Edmonton. And then they come out on Saturday and look like the team we all expect them to be, a Stanley Cup contender, and just roll the New York Rangers. Well, what have you made of the Edmonton Oilers' first 21 games here?
I guess the word would be mediocrity. It was Saturday, though. Yeah, I couldn't even imagine being an Oilers fan being like, man, like we just crushed the New York Rangers, who, as one of you guys mentioned earlier, are maybe trading a big piece, but that's a side story for New Yorkers to follow. But they're just such a weird team. Like, I enjoy watching the Oilers. Who doesn't? Like, when McDavid's flying and Draisaitl's playing at the best of his abilities, they're probably the most fun team to watch in the NHL. But, like, they need depth pieces. They need depth scoring. We've talked about their back end a lot. I don't know if they're going to upgrade behind Stuart Skinner. Like, is Cal Pickard really going to be the guy? Maybe Jeff Jackson and the Oilers have other plans. So that could be a potential move down the road. I don't know what you do with the blue line. Like, I think we talked about it last time, Hernan. Like Ty Emberson, Josh Brown, they called up. He got in that fight. He's been there. He's kind of the seventh D here in a couple games, and he hasn't really impressed me watching him, but that's kind of what Josh Brown brings. And Stetcher's been like meh, I guess you would call it. And the depth scoring just hasn't been there. At least Podkolzin scored on Saturday. I love Vasily Podkolzin, so was pumped to see him score in that hockey game. And Kasperi Kapanen, I think he picked up a point in that one.
He did, yeah.
He's not going to be the answer for depth scoring. I know maybe some Oilers fans were like, what are we doing claiming Kasperi Kapanen off waivers? But there's still so much season left, and obviously a lot of time for some of these depth pieces, especially up front in Edmonton, to finally start doing something and providing offense behind 97 and 29.
Tyler, one last one for you here. I know here we're expecting the Calgary Flames to fall off. I don't know. Like we're almost into December, and they're coming off 2 impressive wins over the Wild and Rangers. I know I can't remember which player said Eagles, but we're just a bunch of bastards in here that want to work hard, and like we're not gonna, we're not taking the foot off the gas here. Are the Calgary Flames for real?
My quick answer is no, but if Dustin Wolf continues to play like this, like they might be. Like, we've been waiting for Dustin Wolf to kind of be a thing as an NHL starter for a few years now, and finally gets the chance with Markstrom being traded to New Jersey. So I'd say no, they're not for real. I still want to see maybe, let's just say 20 more games. We hit the midway point of the season, about 40 games in, and we'll see if they're still in the top 3. But right now, they're actually a really fun team to watch. Like, their D-core in front of Wolf has been really, really good. Rasmus Anderson is so fun to watch. Mackenzie Weegar has been great. And up front, like, they're kind of just doing it with a full team effort, whether it's the guy they call Costco, Justin Kirkland, doing things in the shootout, whether it's Yegor Sharangovich coming back from injury and playing really, really good. They have some fun pieces, but it's still a wait and see for me. I don't think they're legit yet, but midway through the season, you'll have to ask me again.
Perfect. Great stuff, Tyler. It's been a fun season so far. It's only going to continue to get better and better here as we roll on. Thank you for taking the time this afternoon. All the best, and I'm sure we'll have you on in the near future.
Yep. Thanks for having me, and take care, guys. Have a great day.
That's Tyler Madarasz from Sirius XM-NHL. He's a co-host / producer on the NHL Morning Skate from, let's see here, that's 9 a.m. until 1 Mountain Time. I think I got that right, Gager.
That's good. Have you ever watched Dustin Wolf play?
Yeah.
He's impressive.
He's a good little player.
Yeah. What's really impressive is he's been the best player in each of the leagues. Like, it was mentioned, and I look back, like he was the best goalie in the American League.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's something.
One of their players said that we're a bunch of hungry bastards in here. And that was like, hey, these guys are feeling it. Like, these guys are the world against us,
That Sharangovich is great, too. They're
good player.
They're really good. Huberdeau's better, way better than what was. I've always liked Kadri as a player. They got good pieces, man.
Yeah, they do. And their defense is really good.
Raz, Anderson, Weegar. Like, they've the Flames are a lot better than people, I think, give them credit for.
That's why, like, will they fall off, Gager?
I don't know. I think they're good enough to be a playoff team.
I mean,
in this specific division, yeah.
Because I think Maddie said it on the Hangout. Arizona last year was good up until January, then they completely fell off. I think a few years ago it was Dallas Aikens. Last year, Anaheim was really good up until January. Yeah, so I don't know. Like, we'll ask our listeners, do you think the Flames are for real? Like, are they going to drop off? Are they going to be a team that's going to just come back down to reality? Or is this team just a good team that can push for a wild card spot?
They're fourth in the conference, dude.
That's what I mean.
It's the playoffs started today. They have Dallas in the first round.
So they'd be out, but...
Hey, they beat them last time, right?
Yeah, no.
And Edmonton, Winnipeg. Jeez. Colorado, Vegas. Minnesota, LA. That's good. And still a lot of teams knocking at the door.
And I've watched a few because Flames games are always on it. Like, you're hanging out at the house. And I put them on, and I mean, I'm not sitting here saying they're the best team in the league, but they play a gritty style, man. They just don't stop.
If you really look at that top 8, I mean, I guess the one team that gives me a little bit of pause is Calgary. But they're playing really well, and their goalies are playing well.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest equalizer in a lot of these things. When I look outside that 8th place, Edmonton locking down that 8th place, you'd figure that they're going to be moving up. But these might be the teams come playoff time.
It's crazy.
Nuts.
You know what time it is, Gazer?
What time is it?
It's time for the keyword for the EST Flyway to LA, which is proudly presented by the 780. The 780 is a homegrown local shop right here in Edmonton. 780 is both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand that celebrates all things unique to E-Town. They also work with close to 100 local vendors from the 780 area code to help promote and get their brands off the ground. Check them out online at 780.com or at any of their 5 locations at Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall by the airport. Today is the 25th, right?
You got it, buddy.
I'm just checking so I don't give the wrong keyword. Get your phones out. Text 780-218-9999. Do you want to guess the keyword?
No.
It is not no. It's Honda. 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 Text that in to 780-218-9999. And you can be our next qualifier for the EST Flyway to LA, which is presented by the 780. Your chances to qualify are running out, Gager.
Yeah.
So text it in. Zach will pick our next qualifier, and we'll talk to them after the break. This is EST Afternoons. Hernan Salas, Joaquin Gage, the Kub Nation now with a sports update.
The Oilers will be without Zach Hyman and Victor Arvidsson for the next 2 games as they've been ruled out for another 5 to 8 days. And Philip Tomasino has been traded from the Predators to the Penguins for a 2027 4th-round pick, with Tomasino having just 1 assist in 10 games this season. And the Preds hit the ice tonight with the Devils, while the Avalanche battle the Lightning and the Capitals match up with the Panthers on an 11-game NHL slate. In Sherwood Park, Rams head coach Jim Skitsko has been named as the ambassador of amateur football for the Edmonton Elks. Down south, we see the Chargers kicking off with the Ravens at 6:15, where you can join Lieutenant Eric down at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge on Fort Road for the action. And there's 9 games in the NBA, with the Raptors taking on the Pistons, with Grady Dick missing tonight's game due to a left calf strain. On the other side of the break, we ring up our qualifier for the EST Flyway to LA. I'm Zachary Kubusch, keeping you in the loop.
Want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oiler fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Black Friday at FXR Edmonton is the place to shop for the best deals of the year.
Whether you're looking for snowmobile apparel, riding gear, workwear, or a new jacket for looking stylish around town,
FXR Edmonton is the place to be. Door crasher deals up to 80% off, and the entire store is on sale, so don't miss out.
The best deals of the year. Black Friday at FXR Edmonton, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Come see us at 324 Mayfield Common.
780 is just another lame-ass, low-budget local shop. Homegrown right here in Edmonton. 780 is both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand that celebrates all things unique to E-Town. They also work with close to 1,000 local vendors from the 780 to help promote and get their brands off the ground. Check them out online at 780.com or at any of their 5 locations at Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall by the airport.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
It's 2:47 here, last segment on this Monday afternoon. We're at 80 thumbs up. Come on, we can hit 20 in about 10 minutes. 80, 82 now. So we only need 18 to hit 100. The reason we ask it helps the algorithms. YouTube Trev can explain it a lot better than I can, Gage.
No, you're doing great.
We're just waiting on our qualifier. Oh, we're good to go. Nice work, Zach. He's on it today.
Yeah.
Usually I slack off. But today I'm pretty quick with it.
You're pretty good. Who do we have on the line?
Nick is the qualifier for today.
Nick, how you doing this afternoon?
Great, thank you. How are you?
Good. If you win this trip, who would you be taking with you?
Oh, well, most certainly my wife.
Nice. Have you ever been to Los Angeles?
I have not, no.
Oh, okay, that'd be great. So if you win this trip, Nick, it's a flight for 2 to LA with hotel and rental car. You would leave on Boxing Day, returning on the 30th of December. You'd get tickets to Clippers, Warriors, Rams, Cardinals, and the Edmonton hockey team in either LA or Anaheim. Of those games, which one would excite you the most?
Oh, well, I'm really interested in checking out something that isn't hockey. I've been fortunate enough to go to a couple games outside of Edmonton, but I'd definitely be interested in a different sport. It'd be great to go see in person.
Nice. Well, the grand prize will be given away this Friday morning, November 29th, on the morning show with Dustin Nielsen and Lieutenant Eric. Nick, all the best, and hopefully your name is called on Friday.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
All right, there's Nick, our qualifier. Only 3 more opportunities on our show. The next chance for you to qualify will be coming up on the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne, coming to you in about 11 minutes time. Of course, he'll have a loaded show for you. A lot of fun on that one. Our guy Jay Milne's fired up with the Commanders missing the pat there to tie the game. I mean, no guarantees they were going to win. They probably would have went to OT and all that, but still, it's heartbreak. It's heartbreak. Just on the Calgary Flames, a lot of people chiming in.
Nice.
Lars says, nope, dreams should be over soon. Smitty the Welder says, have you guys watched the Flames at all? I have, actually. I don't think they're as bad as
I watched the Wild game against them because I was very interested, and they were leading. The Wild had to score late. Granted, no Krill the Thrill in that matchup, and they won in a shootout, man. And Gustafsson, the goalie, unreal. He's really. I think out of the first 3 shots in the shootout, he didn't even go down, man. I'm like, how do you not even go down? Like
So is he just reading it well?
He's just a perfect position, and his timing is perfect. Like he's still at the top of the crease when they're going to shoot. Like he was really, really good, and it was physical. The Flames didn't shy away from it. They had great goaltending from what's his Zabos? What's his Flames goaltender? I'm not pronouncing his name.
Vladar?
Vladar.
Yeah.
There it is. Vladar. He was really good. Made some big saves. They both made big saves. Look, even the game that the Oilers won in Calgary, like it was a good game.
It was.
I don't sleep on these guys. They're in that weird spot though. Like, do they? They'll probably get pick. We said it before, 10 to 15 if they're on the outside looking into the playoffs. Some decisions have to be made by Conroy.
Yeah.
Of what direction they're going to go soon here. I think, but like way before the trade deadline,
Yeah.
like right now, everything looks great because of where they are. But I guess you got to wait and see because you're not going to start getting rid of your pieces when you're third in the conference.
Not right now. Not right now. Charlie says, I think the Flames are for real. Brett B, Flames will go as far as Wolf takes them. Zulu says, Flames keep getting goaltending. They will be in there. That's a very, very good point. And I agree. I know they're the rivals and all that of the Edmonton Oilers, but I think a lot of people were down on this team, and for good reason, Gager. I mean, we didn't. They could be the Seattle or the Anaheims or the Arizona a few years past where they started well and then tailed off when it got real.
See, and look, that was the first game that the Minnesota Wild allowed more than 3 goals. And, it was, the Flames are only scoring 2.6, but they're only allowing 2.7. So they're having a tough time scoring goals so far, but they're winning some games.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. Goaltending, man.
Big Brain Jay says, imagine where the Oilers would be if they had the Flames goaltending.
Someone just woke up on the couch there.
Tommy's been napping through our whole show. We put Tommy to sleep. Tony, he's tired today. Just leave it at that. Tony, let's see. What 1 or 2 games I've watched almost every Flames game. Their goalies have been winning games, and that's fine. That's
what the goalie should do. What do you expect?
Yeah, we're not going to hate on them because their goalies are playing unreal. No. So
and Skinner played good on Saturday, man.
He was solid.
Yeah,
he was solid. I had no issues with Skinner's game on Saturday. To be honest, I had no issues with a lot of guys on Saturday. They all played. That was their most complete game.
Yeah,
KJ.
That was the most complete game. And the like I said, the Rangers were sniffing around. It wasn't their best, but. The Oilers, they didn't allow those. How do I say this? They made the Rangers have to earn everything they got, I would say, for the most part, except for a little bit of backhand sauce.
Big Brain just says, that's not a troll. I was just saying, no, hey, listen, if the Oilers had Wolf's numbers right now, they might have 1 or 2 more wins. I'm not disagreeing, but I still think, yes, Skinner needs to be better. 100%, but I still think they'll be fine between the pipes, Gager.
Yeah.
And that's going to come with an improvement in defense and an improvement in the attention to details for the Edmonton Oilers, like they had on Saturday. And I think that's what frustrates fans and media is just this team is so one game they're so terrible, like they were against the Minnesota Wild. And then they show up 2 days later and they look like a Stanley Cup winning team, right? So I think that's what frustrates everybody.
I hope they realize what the reasons for their success against the Rangers were. They took the safeties off in that first period. Like they were shooting the puck. It wasn't trying to pass it in the back.
Yeah.
And what that did was it backed off the Rangers D, and after a while, just other things start opening up. After you establish, okay, we're shooting, we're crashing the net, we're looking for rebounds at that point. And then it completely opened up for those extremely high-skilled plays later on.
Does this break hurt them?
No, I think it's necessary. But, no, because they only played 1 good game. It's not
That's
like
what I mean, yeah.
And the fact that there's a lot of people that are trying to get healthy. I think it's actually, if you ask most players, they'd probably want to keep playing, right? But I would say this is perfect timing for the Edmonton Oilers.
So Friday, the Utah Utes. I'm going to call them the Utah
Utes.
The Utes. Saturday, the Colorado Avalanche, both on the road. And then they close out the road trip the following Tuesday against the Golden Knights. This is a good test coming up for the Oil Gager.
But what does
and no Hyman and Arvidsson for the Utah Avalanche game. That was confirmed by head coach Chris Knobloch today following their practice. So they're going to have to call someone up, right? Because they sent Drake Caggiula down.
Yeah, they have to.
They're going to have to. So they probably sent him down to accrue the cap space, so they're not keeping him up here and all that. But it'll be there will be a call up Because after the game Saturday, they did send down Josh Brown and Drake Caggiula. So they have to call someone up to complete their lineup, right? So we'll see what happens. Matt Hyman, Philip Gustafsson, and Connor Hellebuck have the same goals against and save percentage heading into tonight. What a matchup, man.
Oh, it's going to be awesome.
That is the game of the night. If you can watch it, hopefully it's somewhere on the tube.
It's on TSN.
So it's blackout.
Yep.
It's blackout.
Quick flight to Winnipeg, I guess.
That's terrible. That is just terrible. So you're taking the Ravens tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we had our parlay for 11 games. LA, Seattle, Winnipeg, Calgary, Islanders, Tampa Bay, Vegas, Rangers, Devils, Florida, Dallas. Book it.
Plus 8 million.
There's a lot of favorites there.
Yeah.
I do like which one's the pick I like there? Winnipeg. I wonder what that line is. That's got to be close.
It is close.
Yeah,
it's really close.
Yeah. So,
it's even money.
That's a toss-up, though.
Yeah.
That is a toss-up. But it's been a fun Monday coming off an Oilers win. Tomorrow, already confirmed, we'll have Lee Hacksaw Hamilton talk some NFL. He was great the first time. And he will join us on video, which is going to be even better.
Perfect.
And then we'll see what else we do. We'll keep trying to get F1. It's tough.
It's tough, especially they're on the private jets all the way over to the Middle East right now. Too, right?
That's Tim Houraney's so busy.
This is a big turnaround.
It's you think?
Oh my gosh!
I wonder if Tim is going though.
I don't think he goes to this.
No, he could just like.
Or was he there a couple years ago? Because right after there's testing, right?
Yeah.
That's what I asked him last time. Is Lewis going to be testing with Ferrari? But he's not, which is too bad.
Yeah, but it was a fun.
I can't wait to see Lewis Hamilton in the red.
Oh, that's going to be so weird.
Yeah.
It is. And for me, who I'm a very new F1 fan, I still find it weird. So I'm like scrolling through IG on the weekend. I see my two cousins are there. At the
What?
Yeah, decked out in Ferrari gear. I'm like, what the
Really?
It was pretty
Thanks
cool.
for the invite, guys.
I know, man. It's like, give us a heads up or something, but it's been great.
We could have gone live.
Can you imagine? 93 thumbs up. We got about 2 minutes. Let's get to 100. Coming up next, it is Reed Wilkins and JML. They'll have a loaded 3 hours for you and your next chance to qualify for the EST Flyaway to LA, which is presented by the 780. Portions of this hour brought to you by the Canadian Brew House. NHL lives at the Canadian Brew House. Every Oilers game day, get $1 off tankards of Molson Canadian and Coors Light, where you can win 2 game tickets and 2 tickets to Surf and Turf Dinner at the end of the season. Full details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com. Fun show. Thank you for tuning in. For Zach and Joaquin, I'm Hernan Salas. This is EST Afternoons. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay warm. Ciao.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key, influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website, edmontonsportstalk.com.